I would now like to invite Westside member Genevieve Lowry to come forward, who will share with us her experience and service with the Appalachia Service Project. As you may be aware, we are raising money for this mission partner this season during Lent, and Genevieve would like to share with us her testimony. Thank you, Genevieve.
Good morning. I have a tendency to nonchalantly say, oh, that seems like fun, or I'd like to do that someday, not with any real intention behind it. And yet, you may be familiar with the expression, from my mouth to God's ears. Well, God seems to hear me, and the next thing I know, I'm teaching Sunday school, leading the little learners in choir school, or having dinner at a jail. In 2016, my daughter participated in the Appalachia Service Project for the first time. She had little to no experience putting up drywall, laying flooring, or building a deck. It didn't matter. Her faith, her heart, and her friends were drawing her into being the hands and feet of Christ. She was fearless. As she prepared to go, I remembered saying to Penny, I would love to go someday as a leader. Well, from my mouth to God's ears. That day came when Penny asked me last year if I would be willing to attend as a leader and go with a group of Westside teens and adults to Clay County, West Virginia. I tried to resist God's message, but in the end, the voice was loud and clear. Last year's theme at Appalachia Service Project was Luke 10:27, that you love the Lord your God with all your passion and your prayer and muscle and intelligence, and that you love your neighbor as well as you love yourself. So here's what happened. I chose to love God by taking a risk, stepping out of my comfort zone and going to Clay County to offer what little construction skills I had to make homes warmer, safer, and drier. While there, our team of adults and teens went to the home of a family with 3 generations living on one property. There have been moments in my life when you see something so magnificent that your belief in God expands exponentially. This is what parts of Clay County looked like. The lush green of trees and grass over rolling mountains, sunshine peeking through the leaves and branches of trees that pointed to a babbling brook just across the way, where the little girls who lived in the house we were there to help fix often went to dip their toes in the water. This beauty and freedom was juxtaposed with the extreme poverty, lack of education, work opportunities, and housing and food insecurity that many families face in Appalachia. ASP's goal is to make homes warmer, safer, and drier. Each day at the home we were working at, the grandfather would get home as we were finishing up. He wanted to know what progress we had made, what we were working on next, and if there was anything he could do to help. He couldn't believe that we were volunteers and given up our time during the summer to come and work on other people's homes, especially people we didn't know. He wasn't doing this to check up on us, but because he had pride in his home and family, he wanted to be part of the project, not to stand by and watch others, but to be involved. It was his home, his family, his land. We were his guests. When we think about loving our neighbor as ourselves, it doesn't mean loving someone as I want to be loved, but to see myself in my neighbor, to know that I could be my neighbor. I think about how difficult it was for him to ask for help, to admit that the problem in his home had become bigger than he could fix himself. He needed the help that ASP provided through materials and labor, but he also needed us to see his family as our family, his home as though it were our home. In order to do that, we can't judge, but recognize that this could be any one of us. How many of us have experienced job losses, wondered how we were going to pay the mortgage or buy groceries? I once sold a bread maker to buy shoes for my child. I'm going again this year because the families served by ASP are us and we are them. ASP provides the platform for us to use our tools of passion and prayer and muscle and intelligence to be the hands and feet of Christ. And we do this by seeing ourselves in our neighbor, by offering what we have to help others in need as we have been helped. In the narthex after the service, myself and others will be able to talk about the work of ASP, the way it has shaped our lives, the lives of many of our teens who participate in the program, and the lives of those we served. Please join us.